You're listening to 772 Sports, a local Treasure Coast sports podcast highlighting everything from Little League to the NFL. Here are your hosts, Curtis Carpenter and Mike Higgins. All right, everybody, welcome to episode 4 of the 772 Sports podcast. I am Curtis Carpenter. I'm here with Mike Higgins. We're here to bring you all the sports info from the Little League all the way up to the NFL. Today, what are we going to talk about, Mike?
I think a little bit of everything. There's a little bit of high school football, right?
Not much.
Everything kind of got rained out. I'm going to touch on Craig Kimbrell again.
Oh, God.
This is going to be reoccurring.
Oh, Mike's got some problems, and you're going to hear about them.
No, man, we got some college and, same stuff. We're middle of the season, so, I guess first part of the season.
Yep. Some NFL, that's my thing. I love the NFL.
You love the NFL. I'm a big
NFL.
college guy, so and we both equally, I think, love baseball.
Yep.
So we got some good stuff to talk about. We're going to entertain our hundreds of listeners.
At least tens. I've heard from at least like 8 single. I've heard from a few people.
Listen, I get text messages randomly about stuff that we've said on the podcast. So
somebody's listening. All right.
So.
Well, if you're listening, we're going to get you with a little high school football talk right here. Here we go. Treasure Coast Chatter. All right, in this segment we like to call Treasure Coast Chatter. We're going to talk a little high school football. Now, again, the idea, I think, when we started this podcast is that we would touch on all sports. The reality is on the Treasure Coast, football is king.
Yes.
I would like to talk volleyball. I'd like to talk, the other sports, the other fall sports.
And I think we will, too, once we start getting towards maybe some playoff time stuff.
Yeah,
But,
and spring sports. I mean,
regular season, it's almost impossible to find any stats on any of that stuff.
Yeah, even football.
Yeah.
Sorry, John Santucci. I guess he was a little upset. If you're listening, we didn't call you out. We called your bosses out.
Yeah.
But John and Brian Cooney, you guys do a great job, but get your bosses to get these box scores in a little soon.
John does good. He works for USA Today now, so he's not with TC Palm anymore. And I'm not sure what area he covers, but we're going to have to try to get Cooney on the show.
Yeah, we'll get somebody on. Cooney, I tweeted at you. You better reply next time, buddy. Come on. But, all right, so what do you want to talk about? First, we'll hit up Vero Beach.
Yeah, let's just do Vero. I know, did you try to go last week?
No, I didn't try to go. Weather has just been horrible in this area.
Yeah.
And listen, the reality is summer storms have now moved kind of into the late summer, early fall. Hitting football season. Friday nights are a crapshoot on if you're even going to get to play because of the weather. But Vero did play. They played one half.
Yep.
They won 21-0 against Westwood.
Yes, they did.
They looked good. Again, it's wet. It's soggy.
Yeah.
It's not real football. It's kind of like the Bears-49ers game in week 1. It's not real football.
Yeah.
You can't really.
It's real fun to watch.
It's real fun to watch, but in my opinion, you can't really analyze talent. You can't.
Right.
It's just sloppy. You're just trying to get by without getting hurt.
Yep.
And it's just a modified game plan. But anyway, point I'm getting at is, Vero won. I don't know if they looked good or if they didn't. The numbers look great, as they have all year.
Yeah, Aronson can really throw that thing, man. Even with the wet football, he, 8 for 13 in the first half is 2 touchdowns. That's I mean, it was a mess.
Yeah, and I mean. Yeah, and then Rogers, carried the ball 11 times for 91 yards and a touchdown. And then your boy, who's going to your favorite school.
Hey, man, I love when any kid from around here gets recruited by a big-time program. I don't care who it is.
We're talking about Ventravius Jacobs. He's going to Florida State, which has got to hurt Mike a little bit. I love it.
It doesn't hurt me at all.
Yeah.
I like it. I think I'd rather him go to Miami, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
But we definitely need wide receiver help.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about Miami in our what do we call that segment? Gridiron Gab.
Yep.
But yeah, so Ventravius Jacobs, 5 catches, 62 yards, and a touchdown. I want to hint a little bit at their season stats because now that we're what, 4 games under, 3 or 4 games under?
Yep, they're 4-0.
4-0. Okay, 4 games under. Here's what we have.
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5, but 4 complete games, 4 recorded games, I would say. All right, Tyler Aronson. Or Aronson, I don't know how you say his name.
Committed to SMU.
But I could tell you he could throw the rock.
He can throw it.
He's 46 for 66 on the year, 679 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 1 pick.
Amazing.
SMU's getting a baller.
Yeah.
This kid's good, man.
He's a junior, too, so I can see some bigger, not that SMU is real good. Their head coach now is like the quarterback whisperer, Rhett Lashley. And he has a perfect offense. I'm not saying that Aronson will go somewhere, but I assume he's going to get some bigger offers.
Well, I mean, very rarely in this area do you see a pocket passer like this kid.
Right.
I mean, a lot of these guys, they got to modify their game plan so that the quarterback can run a lot of these RPOs. And you see it. I mean, listen, you see it a lot in the college game too. But This kid is very pro style as a junior in high school.
Yeah, he had minus 11 rushing yards. So
well, yeah, I mean that's definitely pocket passer, Peyton Manning like.
Yeah.
But that's what I think is the most impressive to me is, I've only been to one game. I have seen some film on the kid, but I mean he is the quintessential, by definition, pocket passer.
Yeah.
And that usually translates well into the higher levels.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really curious to see what he does. But anyway, again, 46 for 66 on the season, 679 yards, 11 touchdowns, and a pick. Vendravius Jacobs, we'll talk about him before we get into Rodgers, but Jacobs has 23 catches this year for 430 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Love it.
So,
Love it.
I mean, I'm not a rocket surgeon or anything, but 23 catches for 430 yards, it's almost 20 yards a catch.
Yeah, I don't even know what a rocket surgeon is.
Me either, but he's got to be a smart guy.
He sounds smart.
And I'm not him, but almost 20 yards a catch. That's insane.
We went to the opening game before the stats started counting, and he made one of the sickest. I've watched every NFL and college game there is. He still made the best catch I've seen of the year.
Did you watch last night? There was a catch last night for Pittsburgh.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit.
But
talk.
He's fiery. I love his attitude. Like I said, this was the kickoff game. He got up, he spiked the ball, not in anybody's face, signaled first down, got flagged. But it was
kickoff classic. Doesn't matter.
It was a weak penalty and a nasty catch. So I love everything that guy brings.
So loving what Jacobs brings, and then this kid Rodgers, this running back.
You have your eyes on this kid.
Man, he and I'm forgetting his first name now. I should have wrote it down.
I could probably.
I don't care. He's good.
Yeah,
he's like really, really, really good. Rodgers, number 2, I believe. All right, 34 carries, 262 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So he's looking at like 8 yards a carry.
Yeah,
9 yards. I guess 8 on the button. 8 right around there. And 3 touchdowns. This kid is really good. So here's the deal. You got a quarterback who is a stud.
Yep.
You've got a running back who's a stud. You've got a receiver who's a stud. Their defense, again, I didn't even mention their defense. How many points have they given up this year?
I think it's still 6, right?
6. Yeah, well, I mean, they didn't shut. They've given up 6 points in 4 games.
Yep.
I mean, Mike, that's less than a safety a game.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yep.
This, again, we hear this argument every year. They play weak teams. When they get into playoffs, they're going to lose to a good team. They're playing decent teams.
Yeah.
I mean, they smoked PSL.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like 62 or something to nothing. They beat Westwood 21-0, but remember, 1 half.
Yeah.
Is this the best Vero team we've seen in a few years anyway?
I think it has to be, right? Like,
man.
Quarterback play, wide receiver play. They have a kid. They have a kid with the last name White too. I think it's Ephraim White. He's a freshman. That's a running back too. Is going to be like the next. He's freshman or sophomore.
Wow.
He scored a touchdown last Friday. He's going to be next in line. So I think they're stacked up too.
Well, I'm excited about what Vero has to offer. Again, we're both Vero homers. I am anyway. I went there and
it's definitely the best Vero team since we've started this podcast.
All right, so in the last 4 weeks, they are the best Vero team. Let's travel a little bit south. John Carroll beat South Fork 35-3. John Carroll's looking good.
Yes,
they look really good this year. The quarterback Dawson Mail, he was 11 for 24 with 116 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. But I like this running back, Mike. This Tony Colbrook kid, he had 13 carries for 74 yards and a touchdown on the year. 49 carries, 358 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown. I think John Carroll runs through this kid. Last year it was kind of the Jay Allen thing. I think this Colbrook kid is what makes this team what it is.
Well, I haven't seen them yet. I look forward to that. I think we should plan right now to go to this.
We were trying to go to St. Ed.
St. Ed Sebastian, yeah. But we need to get to a John Carroll game. I think it's their first home game tonight.
They do play tonight. They play. I didn't write it down. I don't know who they play, but they play tonight.
They play tonight.
I'll look it up real quick while you're figuring that out.
Well, you're going to figure it out and look it up.
All right. Well, you're going to keep talking to the people.
Yeah, no, I will.
Yeah, there you
go.
They
play tonight. We need to make it down to a game there. We need to support Coach Grudy. That's your boy. I hear he's going to maybe be coming on the podcast.
I'm going to get him on the podcast at some point. I don't know when, but we'll get him on for sure. Yeah, let's see. They play. I'm bringing it up. It's oh man, we got
the advertisement.
We got all sorts of sound going on. The Antonellis. All right, Mike, keep entertaining the people while I try and figure out who they play.
I got them.
I got it. Never mind. They play Bishop Moore.
Okay, Bishop Moore
tonight at 7. I apologize for not having that ready to go.
Not Bishop Sycamore.
No. Oh my God, remember that? No, Bishop Moore. They are 2-2, 104 points for, 71 points against. I have a feeling Bishop Moore might lose by a lot of points. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we're going to call John Carroll by, let's say JC by 3+ touchdowns.
Okay.
Does that sound safe?
Yeah, I like it. I hope I didn't jinx him, but
No. If they did, then Coach Grudy, it was Curtis that jinxed you.
That's right. Sorry, buddy.
No, yeah, I like him big.
Okay.
I was looking at some of the, I looked at it yesterday and forgot the name, but the Bishop Monroe stats, and they
Bishop Moore. Yeah.
I don't even know who it is.
Yep. I don't know. They're bees. They're the Yellow Jackets.
Hornets.
The Hornets. They're somebody.
Well, they're going to get whooped by John Carroll.
Yeah, I think so. So anyway, that's John Carroll again. They're 3-0. They're undefeated. Looking really good this year. Love the kid Colebrook. Let's go back up north. St. Ed's and Sebastian was supposed to play. We were talking about going to that game.
Yes.
It got rained out again.
It was nasty.
These storms are not good. That game is going to be rescheduled to October the 10th, which is a Monday night.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting.
Is that 10-10? Is a Monday?
10-10, I believe, is a
Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football, yeah.
There you go.
So, St. Ed's going to play Sebastian. St. Ed's actually plays Westminster Academy tonight. And Sebastian, so St. Ed's, we were talking a little bit about Redmond, having a heck of a year, running the rock, throwing a rock. He's quarterback, but I mean, he's got a lot of rushing yards.
Yeah.
He's actually caught a couple passes, believe it or not. Plays defense as well. Kind of a one-man band there.
Yeah, we're going to get his dad on to talk a little bit about the program and stuff. He's already agreed to come on. We just have to work out the dates.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out when we're going to record this podcast. So to get a guest is always kind of a struggle. But anyway, St. Ed's playing Westminster Academy tonight. And then Sebastian played last night. They beat PSL, who Vero, they beat PSL 10-6. Now, Vero beat PSL like I don't know, 1,000,000-0. But Sebastian did win. And Sebastian's 3-1. So what's interesting is Vero plays tonight.
Yep.
They play Miami Palmetto, but it's in Sebastian.
Right.
Because of the weather. Again, the field is so soaked apparently.
Yeah, there's standing water on that thing. You can see it. I guess.
Wild.
Yeah.
So, and actually, a little bit of news. I don't know. This might be breaking news. I don't know if, I definitely don't think most of our listeners know this. The governor is supposed to be here for the game. I don't know if that got rescheduled or moved or whatever because the site of the game moved from Vero to Sebastian, but the governor is flying in, Ron DeSantis, flying into Vero Airport, supposed to be doing something at Walking Tree, I heard, and then supposed to be going to the Vero Miami Palmetto game. Again, I don't know if that got diverted because of the change of venue, but I don't know. Maybe if you've made it...
Little breaking news from CC.
Yeah, maybe if you've made it 12, 13 minutes into this podcast, you've learned something new.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's tonight. If you're going to the Vero game, again, reminder, it is in Sebastian, not Vero, but that should be a heck of a game. I don't know that much about Miami Palmetto.
So I did look up some of their basic stats. They're 1-3, but they've lost to some pretty good teams. So they beat Killian, which is a pretty big school down in Miami.
Sounds Irish.
Miami Killian, and lost to Homestead, Clearwater Academy, and Miami Columbus. So Miami Columbus, Homestead, and Killian are all three I'm familiar with just because of recruiting. They always have big-time stars come out of there. Same with Miami Palmetto. So I'm assuming they have some pretty good players. They are 1-3.
1-3 doesn't sound good, though.
The two for sure, Homestead and Columbus, are really, really good teams.
They're
squads.
All right.
So we'll see how Vero does. I think Vero wins pretty handily, but it should be.
Yeah.
They should give up at least what they've given up on the year in points.
6?
Yeah, 6.
All right. Well, we will see if Vero gives up more than their season point total tonight.
Well, let's call it. You call it. Call it for me.
Well, again, I don't know anything about Miami Palmetto,
so,
but I'm going to say Vero.
So let's put the over-under points they give up at 7.
Over,
yeah.
Over.
I think so,
think
too.
they win 38-10.
38-10. I like it.
Boom.
I like it.
38-10.
38-10.
We got to write that down.
Write it down.
38-10. All right, I got them writing notes.
I'm putting it in my notes.
Mike's
I won't be able to find it next week, but
I don't think Mike's.
Listen, you got on me about how I was doing it, so now I got a brand new notebook. We're going in order. It's not every 4 pages.
If you guys are not chronic listeners to this podcast, Mike Higgins is not a gold medal note taker.
I am
Let's
not.
put it that way. There are pages everywhere. It's wild.
But I am teachable. So I got a new notebook. We're going to be going in order. So
all right. Sounds great. All right. So that is our Treasure Coast chatter. Next up, we're going to talk a little of Mike's favorite topic.
College football. Let's go.
Here we go. 772 Sports is brought to you by Vero Beach Social Media, your local digital marketing agency. From Facebook advertising to graphic design to podcast production, Vero Beach Social Media has you covered. Contact them today at 772-999-6636 or visit VeroBeachSocialMedia.com. College football Gridiron Gab. All right, in this segment, we're going to talk a little college football. We like to call it Gridiron Gab. This is Mike's thing. I literally don't write notes for this. I just kind of feed off of you.
Well, this is the in my I guess I don't want to say the best sport on earth. It's my favorite to watch.
College football?
Yeah, I mean, I think still my number one love is obviously baseball, but college football is...
You know, it's funny. I love baseball, I think, because it's every day.
Yeah.
It's my favorite sport.
Yeah.
But, man, do I live for NFL Sundays. But, I love college football. I watch on Saturdays. I got the TVs going and all that. But
all four TVs.
All four TVs going. We're usually watching at least a few games. But anyway, I do love college football, but, man, you're enamored by it.
I don't even know what to call it. Yeah, it's my number one sport. I love it. I love recruiting. I love,
Yeah. Well,
it's my NFL, I guess.
Well, what do you got? What are we talking about this week?
What do you want to talk about?
Well, I'm always big on the pick'ems just because
We'll end with the pick'ems.
All right.
Let's talk about, did you see what Georgia did to South Carolina?
They beat them
48-7.
Yeah, by a lot.
I mean, if that's not the true and real and by a lot number one team.
Again, college football is not my thing. But here's what I can tell you. Within reason, I can evaluate talent.
Yes.
And I've said from day one, man, Georgia is the best team in the country.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Alabama. Listen, Alabama's really, really, really good. And they're always going to be really, really good with Saban there. But Georgia is just on another planet right now, Mike.
Yeah, the Stetson Bennett kid, man, he just proves that what you need to be a successful program. You have your playmakers.
Yep.
Feed them the ball through Stetson Bennett. Every pass doesn't have to be 50 yards down the field.
Right. Well, we talk a lot, especially in the NFL, about game managers.
Yeah.
And you don't really hear that a lot in college because a lot of times you need your quarterback to be the guy.
Right.
Georgia doesn't need that.
No.
They and I'm not trying to call Stetson Bennett a game manager. Hey, I say Tom Brady's a game manager.
He's absolutely a game manager.
I call the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady, a game manager.
Yeah.
So this is no disrespect to Bennett or the Georgia program or anything, but when you have guys, when you just have dudes at every position, just give it to a guy that's not going to screw up.
Yeah.
And he's not, by not screwing up, he's looking amazing.
Yes. Yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed with them. I mean, they did what a normal school does to a D2 school or an FCS program to an SEC school.
Well, and weren't you kind of hinting that you might take South Carolina?
No.
You're like, I love Pomar and
No.
You didn't pick them, but
let's not go crazy. Let's not go crazy. That was the week before.
That's right. All right, it was
Georgia.
the week before. I'm sorry.
And to kind of keep things in perspective too, number 6 Oklahoma State absolutely dismantled Nebraska too. I don't even know if we count Nebraska as a...
No, that was Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, what did I say?
You said Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma. Oklahoma
State
Nebraska.
Dismantled, Arkansas, Pine Tree Stadium, somebody, I don't know.
Pine Bluff, probably.
Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Could be.
Yep. UAPB. But anyway, Oklahoma whooped up on Nebraska. But, I mean, listen, a Nebraska team that is in just dismay.
Yeah.
And they just fired the coach. They are wandering lost souls right now.
I seen a list of the coaches that they're looking at, and I'm like, that's not...
Well, all right, let's talk about this. Who, and we talked about this a little bit with Florida State. At this point, who wants to go to Nebraska?
Right.
What kind of recruiting power do you have as a program when you suck? You just flat out suck, okay?
Right.
And there's no prognosis of being good.
It's just, I don't know how long you can live off your past, right? So they were one of the top programs in college football forever, but
I mean, this is in the 90s. Mike, that was 30 years ago.
I know. How long can you live off of it? I don't know. It's obviously starting to...
And so we talked about that with Florida State. And listen, Florida State's having a heck of a season so far this year, but before it started, it was like, listen, if Norvell doesn't get this done, what do you do? And my argument was, you got to live with Norvell. You live and you die with Norvell. Nebraska's at that point now where whoever they hire now, they are stuck with.
Yeah.
So, and the problem is, they're not going to get great candidates. I mean, you're not getting Urban Meyers that want to come coach at Nebraska. You're getting defensive coordinators from
I think
lower
it was
top 25 teams.
It was I can't even remember the names. I was trying to find them, and I wrote them down.
Where's your notes?
But I left it at. It was on a scratch sheet of paper because it was after. But it's like,
oh my God, you made me cough.
It's
I
like
laughed
Bill
so hard.
O'Brien is on the list.
Yeah.
And guys like that.
He's
guys
an NFL guy, right? But
I guess, but I guess
if Bill O'Brien applies for the Nebraska job and I am the AD at Nebraska, I hire him yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get, and again, I don't think the world of Bill O'Brien.
I think he's one of their top candidates.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking like Wake Forest's defensive coordinator is applying for that job and like might get it.
And I guess you kind of get hurt too because you're not in Miami, California. Like USC is going to be an easier
Who wants to live in
program.
Nebraska, Mike?
Right, but recruiting wise,
that's what I'm getting at.
like your home school, like your schools like Miami, who has the best players in their backyard. California, USC in California.
Well, the argument was always
Texas.
in the Midwest is you had these corn-fed, I can get these big offensive linemen, I get these big defensive linemen, and then I can recruit my skill position players from wherever, all over the country.
Pick and choose, yep.
But again, if you're not not 20, I mean, they're not going to make a bowl this year. Okay, if you're not bowl eligible and you haven't been good in a decade and you don't have a coach, who wants to go there, Mike?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
they're
really stuck right now.
They're hurting. They're in trouble.
But anyway, Oklahoma whooped them.
Yep, Oklahoma whooped them. I did want to talk. Florida State started off 3-0, so they were on a bye last week.
Well, your factor cap, I think, was will Florida State be ranked this week? And I thought they were going to lose, so I said cap. But the rankings are 1 through 25. I saw somewhere that they had them ranked, quote unquote, ranked at 26. Which is
they're
not
like
really ranked,
first or second team in.
But I'm like, wow, I cannot even believe that they're that high.
Yeah,
but. I mean, again, I still don't think that they're a top 25 team in the country.
So, their schedule's coming up is tough. So they got Boston College this week, who I think that they'll probably whoop.
Well, I think they'll beat. I don't think they're going to. Boston College is not a horrible team. They're not very good.
They're not playing good. I mean, Florida's favored by 17.
It's too much, man. I don't think they cover that.
We'll see. But what I'm getting at is, we're going to see what they're made of because after this week, 4 of their next 5 are against ranked teams.
Yeah.
And the not ranked team is Georgia Tech.
Right, who's not bad.
I mean, so it's after this week they play Boston College, then it's Wake Forest, NC State, Clemson, Georgia Tech, Miami.
So they lose 3 of those at least.
I see a scenario where they do.
Yeah.
But I have been impressed with Jordan Travis.
Now, again, let me talk a little bit about Jordan Travis. So when you're Georgia and you have Stetson Bennett, you don't need him to be the guy.
Right.
When you're Florida State and you have Jordan Travis, no disrespect to the rest of the skill players, because Wilson looked unbelievable the other night, right?
They have both Wilsons,
well,
right?
Marvin, the receiver, Marvin Wilson.
They have Johnny Wilson.
Johnny Wilson is who I'm thinking.
And then they have Ontario Wilson, Pookie.
Yeah, but it was Johnny Wilson.
Johnny's the one that went off last week.
Yeah, he had two touchdowns. I mean, catches.
He's like 9 feet tall, and they have a 5'11" guy on him. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, it
one
was
on
just
one.
Poor. We can get into that. It was just poor planning by Louisville. But what I'm getting at, let's digress. When you're Florida State and you have Jordan Travis and really nobody else, he's got to be the guy. Now, he's been the guy. He got hurt. Rodemaker came in and looked great and won the game, so on and so forth. But Travis has to be the guy. So when you say, "Oh, he looks good,"
right.
Well, look at the record. They're 3-0 because he looks good. Now, if they were 1-2, he's not looking good. That team lives and dies at the quarterback position.
Yep.
I think.
I think. I have not heard this, but I think Rodemaker is going to start this week.
Well, I don't really know. I haven't heard anything about Travis or what's going on with him. Or
I know that Rodemaker was taking a bunch of first-team reps, and maybe that was just...
He looked good.
He did.
He looked really good, man.
He's much more pocket passer than Jordan Travis is, but I think he can...
That is one thing I'll say about Norvell is, when you had a guy like Willie Taggart, he was no huddle, run and gun. I mean, just very, very quarterback mobile friendly coach.
Yes.
For lack of better terms. I'm stuttering here. Norvell is kind of like a chameleon.
Right.
Hey, listen, we need pocket passer NFL style. Great. We need spread style. Great.
Yeah.
We need RPO style. Great. Yeah. He can mold to where he needs to be.
Yeah.
Which, again, there's a lot of really bad things I can say about Norvell, but that is a massive positive.
Yeah.
Is that if Rodemaker's in there, he can develop an offensive scheme where it's going to work. It's going to be fine. If Travis is in there, he can modify that scheme to fit Travis's skill set.
Yeah.
So anyway, all that being said, Florida State's still not ranked.
Yeah.
They're still not a top 25 team.
Yep.
I don't see them getting to a top 25 team. Maybe
if they win this week.
If they win, maybe, but it's going to be short-lived.
Yeah,
because again, they're going to lose 3 of the next 4.
Yep. I could
So that's
see
my
that.
take on Florida
Okay,
State.
so and then moving on. So just a little upset. I don't have a lot of stats on the game, but number 25 last week, Oregon did beat BYU. That was a pretty good upset. Oregon was 12.
Yep.
So
I had BYU there, didn't I?
you had BYU.
Man, that's what I get for taking them.
I had Oregon.
I know.
And then the last one we'll go over just from last week, the games is how bad Miami looked against Texas A&M.
Well,
the defense looked great, but the offensive play calling was.
I'm probably wrong more than I'm right, but boy, I was right last week. I'm telling you, man, Jimbo, he's not going to lose that game.
Yeah, I don't,
And I know you're a Miami
we
homer.
talked about it,
yeah,
but no, we
it.
talked about how he was going to come in motivated. They're angry, but they still didn't look great. They found a way to win, and that's good, but they didn't look great. But we'll see. Miami has some questions. They dropped 7 passes, seven drops.
Look like the Colts.
So, that's I still think Tyler Van Dyke has looked to take off, and that's
Well, he sure looked off last week.
that's going to be a problem. Yeah. That's unless that gets they put in extra work. So, I guess what I'm trying to what I see this week and next week is going to really tell me what I need to see. Like, if you're being a realist, you probably had the Texas A&M game penciled in as a loss. The whole time, I did. I had them probably 10-2 or 9-3 losing Texas A&M. But after Texas A&M loses to Appalachian State, well,
yeah, you think, hey, I got a shot.
yeah, maybe they got a shot. So I think they're still right where they need to be. I still think that they'll probably win the Coastal, but we're gonna need to see something from Tyler Van Dyke.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he's got to get on it, man. And again, last week it's a fluke game. I mean, you're like I told you in the last podcast. If you had asked me who was going to win that game before Texas A&M loses to Appalachian State,
yeah,
I say Miami wins that game.
right.
After that game, man, he's just not going to lose that.
Yeah.
He's not going to lose to Miami in that
Nope.
situation.
Yep.
Now, he might lose to a Georgia.
Right.
He might lose to an Alabama. He might lose to an Ohio State.
We'll see.
But
I mean,
mid-tier, mid-top 25 team, which is where I think Miami sits,
Yeah.
where I think their talent really lies,
Right.
10 to 15 spot.
Yeah.
He's not going to lose that game. But
we'll
like I said,
see.
I've been
because
wrong a lot, but I was right
Texas
there.
A&M plays Arkansas this week, so we're gonna see where they're at. And Arkansas is a top 10 team.
Yeah, and
So they're gonna have to do it back to back.
I think exactly, and I think the stress may have lifted minimally
Yeah.
on Jimbo, but yeah, he's going to have to come in and beat Arkansas right now.
Yep.
But if he had lost to Miami and then didn't lose his
Three-
job and then lost to Arkansas,
3-0. Three in a row.
Oh yeah,
That would
then
have been.
I mean it's fire Jimbo time. And again, we talked about the $90 million and all
Yep.
that, but I think even if he loses to Arkansas this week, that win against Miami, breaking up those 2 losses,
Sure.
keeps him his job, and all right, his feelings might get hurt.
Yeah.
but, he's not going to be unemployed the next week.
We'll touch on that a little bit later during the pick'em.
All right.
So that's all I have from games last week. I do have the top 5 for Mel Kiper's big board. I think it's kind of cool to go over that.
Yeah, no.
And has he
one thing I want to talk about is one of the coolest plays I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah?
Appalachian State.
Yeah.
How they won. I don't know if
Yes,
anybody
that
saw
Hail
that. They were
Mary.
on like their own 40. Guy throws. He can't get it in the end zone. They knock it back from like the 5 or
Yeah.
10. Homeboy for Appalachian State catches it, runs it in to win. College game days there.
Yep.
I mean, was it you I was talking to where they were like texting each other? Oh no, it was. So I have a friend of mine. He's a big Colts fan. Went to
Yeah.
Appalachian State.
Okay.
Comes to my house every Sunday, watches the Colts. And he said that during the game, the commentator, Herb Street and all these guys were texting each other like, I cannot believe we came to Boone, North Carolina to watch Appalachian State lose
Yeah.
to Troy, right?
Yeah.
Then after the play, I guess they were all texting each other like, oh my God, this was the greatest game day ever. And you and I were talking about how they were supposed to go to Miami
Yep.
insteed of Boone.
Yep.
And
Well,
they didn't.
They were supposed to go to Texas, but yeah.
Or Texas to watch the Miami-Texas A&M game.
Yeah.
And they didn't. How fluky is that they ended up being in Boone at that game
Right.
for that pass?
One of the craziest games of the year.
That was
crazy
nuts,
play.
man.
If you haven't seen it, you should definitely go look at it.
Yeah, Appalachian State versus Troy.
Don't look at any of the Texas A&M Miami highlights. 'Cause
No.
you won't be happy. Both teams played terrible.
You could pull up some. Florida State highlights if you want, I guess.
Well, they didn't play last week, so right
that's-
off.
Well, no, they played the Thursday game or
Friday,
night,
Louisville.
Friday night.
Louisville was
they're
that
the only team in
was the
college
week
football
before they were off.
history
Yeah,
to go 3-0, winning their first 3 games on different days of the week. Did you know that?
That's a pretty cool
great
stat. I
It's
did
like
see that somewhere.
A Friday, Saturday, and Monday or something.
So Mel Kiper's big board. Nothing we can really say different than with this. He has defensive end for Alabama, Will Anderson, number 1. Quarterback C.J. Stroud, 2 for Ohio State.
That kid's legit.
Yes,
That
he
kid's
is.
legit.
Number 3 is D tackle Jalen Carter from Georgia. Number 4, I was happy to see this, Will Levis.
You've been talking about him.
Yep, Kentucky quarterback. And then number 5, Brian Breesy, defensive tackle from Clemson. Those are his top 5.
You know who I'm surprised not to see on the, and I guess those 5 are phenomenal players, especially in their respective positions.
Right.
But what I saw from Bryce Young,
I think he's 6 or 7.
He's got to be.
Yeah.
That kid. I mean, listen, I like winners. You know, there's a lot to be said about skill sets. And all. I mean, C.J. Stroud just he checks all the boxes, and he's a winner. I'm not knocking C.J. Stroud, but what I'm getting at is guys like Bryce Young remind me of the Michael Jordans, of the Tiger Woods, of the you're just not gonna beat me.
Right.
I'm gonna figure out a way to win. I may not have the skill set or the talent or the whatever today or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to figure out a way to win. And I love that kid. As a Colts fan, with Matt Ryan being what he is, if the Colts end up getting Bryce Young, I will not be upset.
Well, yeah. We'll have some NFL talk. They might get a higher pick than that if they keep playing the way they are. Yeah. So a couple other notables he had. He has Tyler Van Dyke at 21 right now. So first round.
Heisman hopeful.
But I still think he is. We got the meat of the ACC schedule coming up.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, 21 on Mel Kiper's big board is.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
He could.
What number quarterback is he?
Like 6, I think.
Okay.
I think he's 5th or 6th.
Interesting. So big quarterback class coming out next year. Then.
He's behind. Now get this. He's behind Anthony Richardson,
who did not look good last week.
My man has 0 touchdown passes. and are they 3? They played 3 or 4 games.
They've played, I believe, 3 games.
Stat for him, crazy stat that he has more tackles than he does touchdown passes.
What, on a pick?
Yeah.
He tackled a guy.
Yeah, he has 2 tackles,
and
no touchdown passes.
He's the 4th or 5th quarterback on
He's
Kuiper's
the 15th overall prospect.
That is hilarious.
Kuiper says in his little description, like, this is on, like, hype and, like, future stuff alone because he's not played well.
Was he on number 15 as, like, a linebacker? Or
like a super athlete.
Right.
But I thought that was crazy.
That is pretty sad. But like you said, I mean, it's on spec.
Yeah.
But how? So I'm all about, hey, after 1 game you don't know, after 2 games you don't know. Those are small sample sizes. At what point do you have a sample size big enough that you can say, yeah, this guy is good.
Right.
Not he's going to be.
Right.
I mean, listen, I can watch 2 seasons of a guy and he can have all the hype in the world. But,
right.
But if he's not good, he's just not good.
Yeah.
My question to you is, what's that number? How many games do I have to see of a guy?
I think it can be kind of fluid, right?
I think the number's 3 or 4.
Yeah, I can watch 3 games and tell for sure.
Right.
But I could see a 3-game kind of fluky thing happen too, where the guy's really not that good.
Yeah, or all of a sudden he pops off because you play 3 shitty teams, and now they're playing real talent. And he's not good.
I like the 3.
I guess you're right. Maybe it is variable, but I would say 3 games against at least average teams. I could tell.
Yeah.
I just know, when you've watched sports like we have, I think 3. The mildly better than average sports fan, which is what I call myself.
Right.
I don't think I'm a top elite sports fan.
Right.
I'm mildly better than average.
Right.
I think anybody in that tier, after about 3 college football games, can tell.
Yeah.
Is this guy got it or not?
Yeah.
And Richardson is like 1 and 2, like 1 really good game and 2 like not so good games.
I
don't think he's the guy.
I need my quarterback to pass a little bit. Like, this guy has no touchdowns and he may come out this week and throw 4, but no touchdowns, and 3 tackles. Yep, he's on the pick 'em.
Okay,
yep.
all right, we'll figure it out later.
Really good game for that one.
They play Tennessee.
Yep. So that's all I got for notes.
All right,
do you
Mike's
want to do
news.
Mike's news is wrapped up for this week.
All right, I love pick'ems. It's my favorite. That and Factor Cap are my 2 favorites.
Last week we were both 8-2, so we're
right.
still tied. We were 12-7 before, so now we're both 20-9.
Man, we are neck and neck.
Yeah.
Like
so we both. You got BYU wrong. I picked Oregon.
Okay.
And then I got Miami wrong.
Right.
You picked Texas A&M, and then we both got Louisville wrong.
I bet
we picked them 2 or 3 times, and I've been wrong every time. So
just don't put Louisville on.
Well, they're not going to be on there anymore. But they had played UCF, but so they were playing Florida teams, and I'm like, well, they look terrible. Then they look good. Then they look terrible. But you want to do the pick 'em this week?
I love it. Let's go.
Let's get it. So first thing we'll do is just this is going to be a wash, I think, but it's Middle Tennessee State at Miami. Spread's 25.
Miami wins and covers.
Yeah, I think they win big. They're
Middle Tennessee State. Come on.
They're writing some things. After this week, though, Miami's ACC games the rest of the way out. So
all right.
It's going to be interesting. Maryland is going to Michigan. Maryland's 3-0, but Michigan is favored by 17, number 4.
Michigan wins. I don't think they cover, but they're going to win.
Yeah, I got Michigan winning pretty big. So it's a good game. Number 5, Clemson at number 21, Wake Forest. Clemson's favored by 7 at Wake.
Oh, I think that's a funny line.
That's set
I
minus.
feel like Clemson should be favored by more than
well,
that.
Wake Forest is ranked, and Wake Forest has a legit NFL
know, but-
quarterback.
Yeah.
Sam Hartman is.
No, I get it, but
Is legit.
Wow, that's just bizarre to me.
That is.
I feel like Clemson should be 14, 15-point favorites. Again, are we
Vegas trying to do something to us?
is that a Vegas? Is that a Vegas screw me over? Yeah, I'm gonna say Clemson. I'm gonna say Clemson. Just straight up.
I'm gonna say Wake.
Oh,
I'm gonna say Wake just for argument's sake, because I want I like Hartman. I actually think he's the better quarterback over Clemson's DJ Umagalali or however I don't know how to say his last name.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take Wake just for argument's sake. I do think Wake is good. I think Wake may have a pretty solid defense too. So we'll see. Number 17 Baylor at Iowa State. Iowa State is not ranked, but they are 2.5-point favorites.
I'll take Baylor.
I'm going to take Baylor.
Okay.
And
ranked team. I know they're on the road, but Iowa State, I don't know. I'm just taking Baylor. Like you said, they were a sleeper playoff team for you, and they lost. But I like Baylor.
Yeah. So number 20 Florida at number 11 Tennessee. Tennessee 10.5-point favorites. I'm taking Tennessee, and I'm taking them big.
I don't know if I'm going to take them big. I think Richardson throws his first touchdown pass of the year. I think Florida makes it a game. It's one of those games. Actually, it's funny. I pulled this up. Top 10 rivalries in college football, so according to Barstool Sports.
Yeah.
And I was very surprised not to see Florida-Tennessee on the top 10.
Florida State's in there, right?
No.
I mean, Miami-Florida State.
Florida State's
no
number
Florida
6.
State.
But, I did not see. And to me, again, I'm not a Florida fan. I hate them.
Yeah.
But that is they definitely used to be a top 5 rivalry.
Right.
Even though they're, now they're both like kind of good again.
Yeah.
I think that dips into the top 10. I'll read these off if we can digress for a second.
Go ahead. Yeah, I seen the list yesterday. I was going to copy and paste it, but I didn't.
So the number 10 rivalry in college football, according to Barstool, is Pitt and West Virginia. I like it. It's good. Great rivalry. Okay. Number 9 is Clemson, South Carolina. South Carolina.
That's bigger there than it is here, I think.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like a big national rivalry, but that's always seems like a good game. But I think, Clemson's been throttling them.
Yeah, sure, if you say so. Number 8, Utah, BYU. Again, bigger out there than
big
it is
out west.
here.
Yep.
Yeah, a bunch of Mormons fighting each other. Number 7, LSU, Alabama. Is that a rivalry, really?
Is Auburn, Alabama on there too?
Well, we'll get there.
Okay.
But LSU, Alabama. I didn't even know they were like really rivals.
I think so. Yeah, that's probably.
Number 6, Miami and Florida State.
I agree
Now,
with
if
that.
you had made this in 1998, this would have been Florida State.
Yeah.
But in today's day and age, okay, I see that. Number 5, Oklahoma, Texas. That's definitely a top 5 rivalry. Yeah. Number 4, Ole Miss, Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, it's a big rivalry.
It's a big rivalry.
I don't know if I would probably move these around a little bit. Number 3, Ohio State, Michigan. Agree.
Yep.
That's a top
big
3.
One. Big one.
Number 2, Army, Navy. I thought that was interesting. Neither team's good.
No, that's
they
just
suck.
That's probably the longest rivalry in the nation.
Yeah.
Right?
So again, it's a top 10 for sure. Is it number 2? Yeah, I don't know. And then number 1, Auburn, Alabama. I don't hate that. I think that they might have got that one right. So again, I don't disagree with their top 10 necessarily. I'd probably reconfigure a lot of those. I was just really surprised not to see Florida, Tennessee on there.
Yeah.
At least in the lower part of that.
I guess you can't fit them all because I think Florida State maybe should be on there too.
Yeah. Well, if Florida State were better, I think that you would see them with Florida. Yeah, Florida State again.
Okay.
For being such a big Florida State fan, I sure am a hater
I like
on
the
this
list.
podcast.
Maybe a different order.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, all right. So I'm taking Tennessee. I don't think they cover.
Okay. So we got it. So we both took Tennessee. Number 10 Arkansas at number 23 Texas A&M. Texas A&M's favored by 1.5 at home.
I think this is the first time in a very long time that Jimbo gets losses sandwiched. I'm going to take Arkansas.
You got Arkansas?
Yep. Arkansas.
I'm going to take Texas A&M.
Oh, is that our first? Nope.
We're different on Wake Clemson.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, I like Texas A&M. Quarterback's good.
We saw a lot of them last week.
I did. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Who's next?
I'm staring at it, kind of regretting. I'm like,
too late.
maybe I should.
It's
on there. I wrote it.
It's already on the pod.
It's on the pod. So number 7 USC at 3-0 Oregon State. USC's favored by 6.5.
Yeah, I'll take USC.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's see. Number 15 Oregon at Washington State, who's 3-0, 6.5-point favorites, Oregon.
I'll take Oregon.
I'm going to take Oregon.
All
They
right.
impressed me last week.
The Ducks.
Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
No, they're just the
they're
Ducks.
just the Ducks.
Okay,
Yeah. They
Boston
used to be mighty.
College. Boston College at FSU. FSU is favored by a lot, 17.5.
First week, I'm going to take Florida State. Ooh.
This is the week it's gonna.
Yeah, I know. This is when they go 3-1.
I take them too.
Or 4-1 or
Florida
whatever
State.
they are. Yeah.
And this is kind of a big one. I needed a 10th game, but Georgia Tech at UCF. UCF's favored by 20.5.
That's wild to me that UCF is favored by 20.5.
Yep.
I'm going to take UCF, but I don't see a way they cover.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know.
UCF sucks.
Georgia Tech's not very good either.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I think UCF has a better offense. So,
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, that's our pick'em. So we are tied right now.
We're tied right now. We're both
Okay.
20-9 on the
And what do we
season.
have different here? We have 2 games different?
Yes, we have Clemson, Wake Forest. You took Clemson, I took Wake, and we have. I feel like something else.
Arkansas,
Texas A&M. Yep.
I have Arkansas. Mike has Texas A&M.
I need Texas A&M more than I want them.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's it for our Gridiron Gab.
boom.
We're going to talk a little Major League Baseball.
Let's do it.
Here we go. Around the Horn. All right. This is our Major League Baseball talk. We call it Around the Horn.
Yes,
It
sir.
is something that Mike and I think, are mutually on the level of fanhood.
Yeah.
I think this is the one that we're closest
Yes.
on. Maybe NFL. I don't know. You love the NFL
I
too.
love NFL.
But yeah, so this is Major League Baseball talk. What do you want to talk about this week, Mike?
Well, I guess we could start off with standings if you want, but not a whole heck of a lot has changed. All the same teams are in.
Yeah, we shoot this. It's funny. We record this I say shoot. We record this podcast weekly, and we give prognostications on what we think is going to happen and this and that. And really, as far as standings go, wild cards and all, nothing really has made all that much movement.
No. Milwaukee's still 2.5 back. I think that's what they were last time. I think maybe the only change is it seems like Cleveland has extended their lead a little bit.
Yeah, I mean they're up 7 games. They've made like a 4-game jump or something like that since the last podcast, and I think we both said like Cleveland was going to win this thing. I think you had hinted at maybe Chicago making like a little run, but I think we ultimately both agreed.
Yep.
Listen, Cleveland's going to win this division,
and I think that I guess both Tampa Bay and Seattle have kind of struggled. Toronto's taken the first wild card spot away from Tampa Bay, right? It was Tampa Bay, so they flipped on that.
Yeah, I think that's semantics, though. I mean, does it really matter if you're first or second? I guess it depends.
I guess your
who
home
you're going to
team,
play.
right?
Well, wait a minute. How's this work? Is it
so? It should be the worst. So the team that doesn't get the bye, the division winner that doesn't get the bye, will play the worst. What the least? I don't know.
Right. So Cleveland is going to play the last. Cleveland's going to be the
Cleveland's
third.
going to play
right.
Seattle or Tampa, whoever's last.
Right. But what I'm saying is that I see. So Toronto and Tampa, that's going to determine who's home.
Who's home?
And that really does matter.
And you're home for all 3 games.
Right. Yeah. So all right. So that is not just semantics. That really does matter. So I should probably keep a little closer look at that. But right now, as of September 23rd on Friday, Toronto has, it looks like, a 1-game lead on Tampa. So Toronto would be the home team if the playoffs started today against Tampa. Seattle would be traveling to Cleveland to play Cleveland, and Houston and the Yankees
get a 3-game,
get to hang out for
3 or 4 day break.
Got it.
I don't. Where are you at on? Is that good? Is that bad? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, listen, there are pros and cons to it. I'm not a huge fan of a bye. I think that it gets you out of a rhythm.
Right.
However, the pro to that is, hey man, I can get my pitching lineup set
Line up your rotation.
Now, again, we're gonna get to the Dodgers here, I'm sure. But if you're the Dodgers, you can kind of line up your rotation anyway because you've got home field pretty much locked up.
Right.
So they are at a disadvantage with that little bye, I think, because they're already going to get their rotation set up. So ultimately, if you're a Dodger fan, this is not good. But I mean, if you're a fan of, let's say, the Yankees, who are still, I guess technically sort of trying to win the division. I mean, I think they got it locked up. But for argument's sake, if you're the number 2 seed that's trying to lock up a division, it really matters to you. I mean, you really want those extra 3 days or 4 days or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, at this point right now, last time we talked, there was still a little bit of a race with Cleveland. We're calling that done.
That's over.
7 games, that's over. So the only race left is the Mets and Braves.
Well, it's a 7-game lead with 12 to go. That's done, right?
Yeah, that's done.
Okay.
We're calling those done. I'm calling everything done.
Are we like
CNN
CNN at like 7:10 on election night? Like, we're calling these races and the ballots haven't even been counted yet.
Listen, if I'll gladly get on here and eat some crow if the White Sox can come and somehow make a move.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But anyway, all right.
There's two things up for grabs. I think the East is probably up for grabs and possibly the last NL wildcard spot.
The NL East.
NL East.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. The Yankees have a 7.5 game lead.
Yes,
but
NL East.
Yeah, so all right. So in that example I gave before, we have a real life scenario where with the Mets and Atlanta, one of those two teams is probably going to be the number 2 seed, and they're going to get that bye. So this is going to be really important for one of them to win.
Yeah.
Because again, if you're the Mets, you want to line that rotation up. If you're the Braves, you got to make sure that Strider and Soroka or whoever it is, you've got them, or Fried. Is he healthy? Whoever
he's
it is,
healthy. Yep,
okay.
He's very healthy.
Yeah, so
pitched great yesterday.
yeah, you want to make sure that you have those guys kind of set up. So yeah, the NL East, the Mets as of right this second have a 1.5 game lead.
And I'm looking to see. I without looking, I know they play each other again. But
yeah, I think it's the second to last
series.
Yeah, because we talked about that.
3-gamer. Yep.
Yeah, that may call a division right there. You win 2 out of 3. You're probably gonna take it. But yeah. So we have that, and then what else, Mike? What's the other? All right, so the NL East, and then
I got no other divisions really other than the NL wild card with the Brewers.
Yeah, so right now, as of this recording, the 3 wild card teams in the National League are Atlanta, who's definitely, they've clinched a playoff spot. They're either going to be the number 1 wild card team or they're going to win their division.
Yep.
Then you have San Diego, who is the number 2 wild card, and then Philadelphia is the number 3, and then Milwaukee is 2.5 games behind Philly right now.
Yep.
San Diego is only half a game up on Philly. So you effectively have 3 teams within 3 games for 2 spots. That'll be interesting. Now, my take is San Diego and Philly are probably the 2 teams that make it. Philly's made a run.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I did not expect them to make the playoffs, but they're there, man.
Yeah, I thought possibly Milwaukee has the starting pitching to kind of hold this thing off, or kind of make a move. But it's every time they win, Philly.
Treasure Coast chatter. Well, they didn't last night,
yes,
which is kind of interesting. San Diego lost last night.
Yep.
Philly and Milwaukee both won, so that's what kind of bunched these 2 teams up, or these 3 teams into a 3-game kind of spread. But yeah, man, I'm curious to see how all this plays out. Next week is going to be real interesting because we'll do this podcast with about 6 games left or something, and we'll definitely have a better understanding of where these teams are all going to be, what the playoff scenario is going to look like. But right now, of the I don't know, what are there now? There 12 playoff teams? We know like 10 of them.
Yeah. We're waiting. Yeah, we have 2 spots still up for grabs, but one of the spots up for grabs is still a team that's going to make it. So
right. And in the American League, is Baltimore going to get there? I don't think so. I think they're going to fall just short. So you're going to have Toronto, Tampa, and Seattle, and whichever function there as the 3 wild card teams. So really, we have 11 of the 12 kind of figured out. It's just I guess San Diego, Philadelphia, or Milwaukee, pick any 2.
Yeah.
That's where it's going to be.
2 of those 3.
So there's your playoff rundown.
Yeah.
What else do we have? Is Judge going to do it tonight?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Is Judge going to do it tonight? It stunned me he didn't do it against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's definitely going to do it Thursday against the Red Sox.
Yeah.
And then he walks 3 times. Okay. So it's Friday night. Is Judge going to do it? So what we're talking about, if you live under a rock, Aaron Judge is sitting on 60 home runs. The American League record is 61 by Roger Maris. Maris's family has been at like the last 4 games waiting for Judge to hit it. If he ties the record off 61 to break the record at 62, I think, and I was actually going to do this as factor cap. So I'll hold off on what I think about Judge. But anyway, point is he going to do it tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
So he's facing lefty. He's facing Hill.
Rich Hill.
What's he at? He's at 60, right?
Years old?
No. Yes, Rich Hill's at 60. Aaron Judge is at 60.
Aaron
right?
Judge is at 60.
So he needs 2 to break it.
He needs 2 to break it.
He's going to tie it. He's going to tie it tonight.
Tonight. Okay.
Yes.
So Mike has 61 tonight.
Yep.
So we'll do factor cap again later. But anyway, my factor cap to you was going to be: is he going to break it this weekend against the Red Sox?
And I'll wait to answer that.
Okay.
But tonight I do think he hits 61. He faces Rich Hill, so I think it's a good one to do it.
Who I love Rich Hill, by the way. A little backstory. I saw Rich Hill throw 7 perfect innings in Miami and get pulled in the 8th. Thank you, Dave Roberts. He's the only guy to ever pull 2 guys who've thrown 7 perfect innings and not given up anything, and Dave Roberts pulled him.
Yeah.
Kershaw and Hill. I was at the Hill game. Love Rich Hill. Yeah, I agree. I think.
He faces Pivetta and Bello too this weekend. Both guys have high 4 ERAs.
Pivetta might get to him. Bello though, I could see that Sunday. That's Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Pivetta's righty. I don't know what his splits are.
I don't either, but righty. Just I don't like that matchup.
Bello's righty too. So
okay, for some reason I thought he was lefty.
He's got to do it against a righty.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
I think he gets 61 tonight, and then we'll see what happens. So,
all right. Old man Al.
Old man Al. That's got to be
698 home runs.
You said that's it.
I said that he's gonna die at 698. That's where it ends. Obviously, I don't hope that's the case. I hope he hits 700. But what happens, Mike? What's he gonna do?
So
he's got a handful of games. They play the Pirates like 6 times next week.
Well, they play the Dodgers this weekend, right? So,
dude, don't do it against the Dodgers.
Haney. Let's see. Let me see the matchups. Haney, Kershaw. Haney, Kershaw, Anderson. He's all lefties. So he's probably gonna start.
Oh God, don't do
game.
it against Kershaw. That'd be really bad. I don't want to see that.
What's he need? 2 to get to 700. So
yep, he's got 698.
How about 1 against Haney and 1 against Tyler Anderson?
Oh God,
is he doing it this
really?
weekend? Oh, you have.
Is it in Dodger Stadium?
Yep.
Oh man,
the fans would love that.
No, I don't want that.
Well, you have him not hitting anymore, so no worries there.
Well, I had him not hitting more than 698 2 weeks ago when he had like 680 or something.
So let's see.
Yeah, just so that I don't have to eat crow, I'd say stay at 698. I'd be curious to see if he does it this weekend against the Dodgers.
And then early next week, Tuesday, they got the Brewers, so
yeah,
they're gonna have some tough pitchers to go through.
But again, they have the Pirates for like 6 games or something.
Yeah, like in a row, right? Like
something wild like that. So just do it against Pittsburgh.
I still think he gets to 700.
And that's the other thing. I'm just thinking, like, he's definitely starting all 3 games against the Dodgers.
Absolutely.
If it's lefty,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a situation where maybe the Dodgers go up, 10-0, and he gives it up off of Hanser Alberto or somebody that comes in. No,
I don't want to see that. I want to see. All right.
I want to see him give it off Kimbrel.
Oh, okay.
And then release him.
I was just going to say, hear me out. Dodgers, it doesn't matter if they win, lose, draw, whatever. I want the Dodgers to be up, let's say 1-0, 2-1, 5-4, whatever.
Yeah.
1-run lead. Kimbrel comes in, gives up, grooves 700 to Pujols to tie the game. The Dodgers end up winning in extras, and then that's what gets Kimbrel cut.
Oh.
How amazing would that be?
Listen, man. I need that guy DFA'd real bad.
All right, Mike's got some problems, and you're going to hear about them.
We went over this on the podcast last week. We did the podcast the day after he blew a save, and I think the Dodgers lost that game.
They did.
And last night he comes in with the game tie, gives up a home run, is going to get the loss if Mookie doesn't come up and do what he does.
Well, they had the bases loaded with 2 outs, but yeah, Mookie. So Mookie got a hit to win the game.
He gets the win.
That and so you got problems with Kimbrel. I have problems with the win stat.
Yeah.
As a pitcher. I think it's the dumbest stat on all of professional sports because you could do what Kimbrel did last night, which is give up a run and then be rewarded because you didn't do anything and you get the W.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for those of you curious about what we're talking about, the Dodgers played last night. They played Arizona. They were winning. No, I guess they were tied. They were tied in the ninth. Craig Kimbrel, it was 1-1. Kimbrel gave up a run. It was 2-1. And the Dodgers came back and scored 2 in the bottom of the ninth with Mookie Betts getting a game-winning walk-off single to win the game. Here's my question for you. Okay. I said it doesn't really matter if the Dodgers win, lose, whatever. This was really the 4th game in a row. They should have lost to Arizona at home. Concerned?
No, not at all.
They were down 5-1 in the 8th on Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever it was. Tuesday. They lost Monday. They lost Wednesday. Oh, no, it was a doubleheader. They lost game 2 of the doubleheader. They won game 1 when they were down 4 runs in the 8th. They lost game 2. They won last night when they should have lost. And they should have lost yesterday. Or they did lose yesterday.
No, they won yesterday. Dodgers walked it off.
Not yesterday, day before.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm really good at confusing people. Remember when I was doing the Florida State recap with LSU? All right, here's how it went down. Monday, the Dodgers lose. Tuesday, they play a doubleheader. They win game 1 when they were down 4 runs in the 8th. They should have lost. Yep. They win. They lose game 2. Last night's... I screwed it up again. Damn it.
It's
Tuesday,
all right.
Wednesday,
we
Thursday.
Get it. We get it. Last night they were tied. Maybe should have lost with Kimbrel coming in and blowing the thing.
Yep.
But they threw a Mookie. Mookie hasn't started some of these games. Trey
Well, he
Turner
came in as a
hasn't
pinch hitter
started.
for
He
Joey
came in as-
Gallo last night.
Yes.
Yep.
So, no, I'm not concerned at all.
Okay, that was my question for you. I'm not concerned. I want to hear what other Dodger fans have to say about it.
No, not concerned. So
College football, Gridiron Gab.
forth, what is the one record that you don't think can possibly ever get broken? And I said it's the consecutive game streak, and I don't think anybody will ever get close to that. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I've got a handful. The consecutive game streak is 100% unbreakable. Nolan Ryan threw 7 no-hitters.
Yeah.
100% unbreakable.
no Cy Youngs.
Yeah, Cy Young's win record of 511 games, I think it is.
Yeah.
That's totally unbreakable. I mean, 500 wins, you're talking now, like, if you hit 200 wins, you're a Hall of Famer. So you got to get 2.5 times that. I mean, that's just never going to happen. I don't know. I mean, those are kind of like the big 3 for me. The 7 no-hitter thing is just...
That's amazing.
That's wild. But, you know, and Koufax had 4. So anyway, those are the 3. Do you have another one that
I don't know if anybody hits 400 again, right? I know that's not really a record. But
I mean, 406. Ted Williams hit 406. This is kind of funny. So Ted Williams hits 406 in 1941 and does not win MVP because Joe DiMaggio gets 56 games straight. Kind of like Ohtani and Judge this year, but it's looking more and more like Judge is going to win MVP. Even though Ohtani's got a hell of a season.
I would like to walk back. You know, I thought I had an argument for Ohtani, but I think now with Judge getting the Triple Crown, I think.
Well, as of yesterday, he was a point behind an average.
You sure?
As of yesterday, he was.
He's in front now. I think he leads in all.
Okay,
so I think he's going to win it handily.
Yep.
But I always think what Ohtani does should be in the conversation.
Yeah, but going back to records that won't be broken. Do you have any others? So you say 400?
Yeah, I say 400 is probably not going to. Maybe with the shift coming back, we'll see a little bit higher averages. No, I mean, I don't really see anybody hitting over 700 home runs again. After Pujols.
I don't know, man. I mean, like there was a thing about yesterday. It was what % chance do active players have to hit 500? And Mike Trout was at 52%. He was the highest of the current players. Juan Soto was somewhere in the mix. And then there were a few guys that were kind of in the mix. I don't know. I could see 700, especially with the kind of
you can't say Judge
elevate and celebrate kind of thing. I could see somebody hitting 700. Now, I mean, the record, what is the record now? I mean, it was always 755, and then I think Bonds is 762.
3, yeah, something like
762, I think, is Bonds.
763 breaks it,
that might not be broken, but, yeah, I don't know.
So, another one, kind of just going back to pitchers, do you realize that, and I guess maybe I did realize that, but do you know who the second active wins leader is for pitchers? First is Justin Verlander.
I was going to say, is Verlander first? Is Kershaw second?
Nope.
Zach Greinke?
Zach Greinke.
Yeah.
223. I didn't realize that. And Max Scherzer are the 3 active pitchers.
With over 200?
With 200 or more.
Scherzer has 200?
200
on the dot.
Yep.
Kershaw's got to be like 194 or something?
Wainwright, 195. Clayton Kershaw, 194.
Yeah.
So those two got,
so those are
Kershaw's
top
definitely
5.
going over 200.
Well, I mean, you say definitely. I assume he pitches next year. I mean,
he's going to pitch probably the next
couple.
I say the next
imagine.
3 years.
Yeah.
Is Wainwright, do you think Wainwright comes back and chases? He hasn't come out and adamantly said, I'm not coming back. 195. He probably has 3 more starts this year. 15-ish more games, so maybe 3 more starts.
Yeah, Wainwright's not going to hit 200. So he's going to have to come back if he wants to get to 200. Yeah.
And after that, I don't know. I don't know that I see any other pitchers. Johnny Cueto has 142. He's 36. So, like the next couple guys, David Price, 157. He's retiring.
Yep.
Johnny Cueto's 36. Madison Bumgarner's 32 years old. He has 134.
Dude, and he sucks now.
He sucks. Garrett Cole is 31. He has 129.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
Who's the next guy to get 200?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm. Lance Lynn is he's 35 though.
Yeah.
122. I'm looking for a young guy. Chris Sale's 33.
Nope, he's done.
Everybody's in their 30s, and they're not even. Wade Miley's 35 and has 98 wins.
Jesus.
It's crazy to me. Trevor Bauer's 31. He has 83 wins. So Jacob deGrom, I guess he's not going to get He's 34 with 82
Jacob
wins.
deGrom and Clayton Kershaw are the same age.
34 with 82 wins.
The best pitcher on the planet
it's astounding.
has 80-something wins.
Rich Hill 75.
And he's 100 years old.
Yeah. And
He's older than he has games won.
Where's I just lost him. Hold on. That made me laugh. 81 wins. He's older than baseball, and he has 81 wins. So yeah, I don't see anybody else getting there.
No, me
Shout out, because he's on the list. I just saw him. Let me look for him again.
Cobb.
Alex Cobb. Yep.
Yeah, I knew he was in the 60s, right?
69 wins.
Yep.
He's 34. He's
listen,
he's probably not going to get 100.
The good thing about Alex, and again, for those of you that don't know kind of the background, Alex is from Vero, went to Vero Beach High School, was a fourth round, I think, pick, fourth, fifth round pick for the Rays, went straight to the pros, didn't go to college. I actually played Little League with him. I think I have a signed ball up there from when we were in Little League together next to one that he signed for me while he was in the pros. Plays for the Giants now, but yeah, I follow Alex's career pretty closely. He plays for the Giants now. But yeah, 34 years old, a slew of injuries. I mean, he got hit in the head by a ball. He had thoracic outlet syndrome. I mean, he had some weird-ass injuries. But the good thing about Alex is that he's not a guy that is going to get 35 years old and then lose velocity. He's already lost. Actually, if anything, his velocity's gone up.
Yeah.
He went to what's the Trevor Bauer thing? The pitching school where they teach you to increase your velocity.
Yep. The name's not.
I want to say flight line, but that's not it. But anyway, and he's actually gone up. He's hitting like 95 miles an hour now.
Yeah.
The thing about Alex is his stuff's nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, he could sit low 90s and be fine. And his career has been like that. So I could see him pitching into 37, 38 years old.
Sure.
And get another, hey, he needs 31 to get to 100. I could see that happen.
Yep.
Because, again, the velocity thing is not going to affect him.
Right.
But anyway, I don't see Alex getting a 200, though.
No, that ain't happening.
Or anybody, for that matter, at this point. I mean, Kershaw and Wainwright.
Nobody else
right?
active other than them two.
Got you.
Like I said, Bumgarner, but he's going to have to make a...
Nah,
he's
sucks.
134 and he's 32. So
man. I mean, think about that. He's got to win 66 more games?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Not happening. And Zach Davies is only 28. Right? I thought that guy was like 45.
Man, but he looks like he's 12. Have you seen him?
Yeah.
He looks like a little kid.
So,
I feel like he's been in the league a long time.
That's all I got for...
Anyway, all right, so we've got our playoff scenario. We've talked about Judge again. We talked about Pujols.
We'll revisit that next week,
and next week, I mean, we're going to have probably close to our season recap.
That's it.
All right, great. Well, that's it for Major League Baseball. Next up, the National Football League. Here we go. 772 Sports is brought to you by the Higgins Home Group. Let the tag team of Mike and Vicky Higgins help you either find your dream home or sell your current home for top dollar. The Higgins Home Group is one of Dale Sorensen Real Estate's premier real estate teams. Give them a call at 772-532-8148. Next up, Chalk Talk. All right, welcome to our Chalk Talk segment where we talk about the NFL. We just wrapped up week 2. Last night actually started week 3. We usually record this podcast on Thursdays and try to get it out on Thursdays. We had a scheduling conflict. So we could talk a little bit about the game last night, or do you want to do week 2 and then talk about last night?
We both picked Cleveland, so let's just start that off with the pick 'em. So we both are 1-0.
Yeah, I don't think that there was a I don't know. We both picked Cleveland, Pittsburgh.
Like briefly about last night, like you got to get Trubisky out of there. That guy's horrible,
dude. And they just drafted a guy.
Kenny Pickett. Why not?
Like why is he not in? I don't know.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, that's enough about that. I know, we know some pretty big Browns fans, so that was exciting. I seen some.
My son is a Steelers fan, so that was fun. Like picking on him this morning.
Was he? Now you guys were watching the game, right?
We watched. Well, I let him stay up till I think the third quarter just started when I put him to bed. So,
okay.
So he didn't get to see the end, but he got.
Did
to watch
you guys
till half.
Stay at halftime?
We stayed till halftime.
Okay.
So some backstory there. We have some friends that are Browns fans. Way too much information here. I'm on planning and zoning. We had a meeting last night, so I needed someone to watch the baby. So this was a good opportunity to drop the baby and the boys off at the Browns fans' house.
Yep.
I went after the meeting, picked the baby up.
Works out. Boom.
With the kids, we watched a little bit of football and then left. But my youngest son, Mike, is a big Steelers fan. So it was kind of fun watching the banter back and forth between the Steelers and the Browns fans.
Who's his this is off topic, but who's his baseball team?
Astros.
Where does that kid get?
I don't know, man.
I knew the
don't
answer
know.
to that, by the way.
I did something wrong there.
Dropped him on his head.
Something happened in the womb.
Okay.
All right, week 2. Let's do a little week 2 recap of the NFL.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, so do you want me to just, I'll pick a big moment, you pick a big moment, and we'll kind of.
All right, well, I was going to talk about the Dolphins.
Let's do it. That was my big moment. So.
Okay, there's your ding, ding, ding. Look at that, same page. So, Dolphins are down big late in the game.
Big.
Tua all of a sudden becomes Joe Montana,
Yep.
and the Dolphins win. They beat Baltimore. What happened, Mike?
They started throwing the ball down the field. I don't know what happened to Baltimore, man. Every time I looked up, they're letting Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle get behind them. I don't know. Well, I don't know what that defense is.
Well, and it's not just Baltimore. I mean, Tyreek Hill did this in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen? What kind of routes is your team running to fool the defensive coordinator into bringing his safeties up, knowing that Hill is going to get behind you? I mean,
Hill is
can't believe it
literally
happens.
the fastest guy in the NFL.
He might be the fastest guy in the world.
Why do you not play a safety behind him at all times? I don't get it. I'll take it. It was good.
So back when I was a kid, Madden had a cover 3 package, right? So you could have 3 safeties, and then you take that one middle safety, and you literally drop him back to the end zone. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I mean, I would do that in Madden all the time when I was a
Yeah.
kid, just as like a prevent defense. Just, hey, listen, I know that effectively you're playing with 10 defenders.
Yeah.
You cannot let that guy get behind you. And I know the argument was, oh, well, Tua can't get it to him. Tua got it to him on Sunday. Tua got it to him. And Waddle, oh, my God. Dude, the steal of the century was me getting Jalen Waddle on my fantasy team. And I love the little penguin waddle thing. I started doing that. I'm not even a Dolphin fan, but Jalen Waddle gets a catch and I start waddling.
We're doing that all over the living room every time he scores. So yeah, I like it. Big test this week against the Bills. Your perennial number 1 best team in the
Dude, I'm picking
NFL.
them every week. I think Buffalo is by far the best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, listen, they showed it Monday night.
Yeah.
They straight dominated. Now, again, they dominated a Tennessee team that I don't think is very good. You have them winning the AFC South.
Well, I said between them and the Colts, but now how am I supposed to just sit here and pick the Colts?
Who is going to win the AFC South? Mike?
Texans?
Oh, my God.
Jacksonville?
Oh,
Who's
my
in first?
God.
Jacksonville?
Jacksonville is 1-1, so I guess. I guess they're in first.
So we're in the Survivor pool together, and I'm picking Colts because they're coming off a loss, and I didn't realize they've lost like their last 4 games in Jacksonville.
7 in a row.
So I'm like,
7 now.
I did not check that stat before I picked.
Yeah, that's just wild.
I don't know what to say. So about your Colts, what are we?
They're bad. And I wrote to Jim Irsay and asked him to fire Frank Reich and Chris Ballard like I said I would. We talked about this in episode 3. I said the Colts tied Houston, who is the worst team in the NFL. I said if we lose to Jacksonville, who is the second worst team in the NFL, I'm starting a petition. I wrote to Jim Irsay. I haven't heard back yet. I'm a little upset about it.
Did you ask him to come on the pod?
I'm going to tweet him. I'm going to be like, Jim, you got to come on the podcast and explain to me why Frank Reich still has a job in the NFL. I told him. I wrote to him. I said, you're paying Frank Reich $9 million. The average clown salary is only $30,000 a year. Like, I don't know why you're overpaying this guy. I mean, Frank Reich stinks. I mean, he's like 2-week-old garbage. Stinks.
I got nothing. I got nothing for you.
The Colts. I'm like, all right, well, what are we gonna hear? Like, all right, here's the scheme. This is what happened. Here's why. No, you know what I got told? Oh, we got out coached. Yeah, I know you got out coached. I watched the game. Oh my God. Yeah, Mike has some complaints about Kimbrel. I got some complaints about the Colts and their management.
Well, I had a
holy cow.
So just to kind of recap last week, Chiefs beat the Chargers. No real.
No, not a big upset there. I mean, again, the AFC West got a lot of good teams.
Yeah, you could
That was a Thursday night game. It was Chargers were up at one point. They had a chance to win.
There's a scenario where you can see any or
I
don't know if it's possible for all of them, but to make the playoffs, they beat up on each other. But that's good. So Jets come back and beat the Browns.
That was big. I mean, big upset. Last week was a lot of upsets.
That's crazy.
We'll go over the pick'ems, but it was. There were some upsets last week.
Yeah, I liked it. Giants over the Panthers, who you've completely been anti-Giant.
Did Vicky beat you up? Did she
No.
listen? I time-stamped it. I said,
man,
Vicky, listen here.
She listened to the pod. She's completely surprised. She's like, I don't know what to do. Like, how are they winning?
I don't know. I mean, it is smoke and mirrors.
They have Daniel Jones as their quarterback. How are they?
And he
winning?
didn't play that great. I mean, Barkley did well. He ran the rock pretty well, but Jones did not have like a wipeout game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Giants won again.
Yeah.
First place in the NFC East.
Cowboys beat the Bengals with a backup quarterback.
I love this kid Rush. Oh, are they going to turn? Is this guy going to turn me into a Cowboy fan?
I don't know, but I was listening that they're like, if this guy for the next 3 games really balls out, is there legitimately a quarterback controversy there when Dak comes back?
Oh,
They were talking about that on ESPN.
I love the guy. We were saying in the house, it's rush hour. It's rush hour. It's rush hour. I love this guy.
49ers whooped up on Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of
Trey
mildly
Lance,
expected.
that's kind of...
Well, no, he got hurt.
Yeah, he's out. Out
So
for
it's
the
Jimmy
season.
G time.
Jimmy G, which...
Oh, boy. Quarterback controversy in San Francisco?
Well, he's out for the year, so it won't be
Well, we'll be next year.
Yeah, it will be next year, but there's arguments that Jimmy G should have been the guy, really, the whole time.
Yep. We'll see. It'll be hilarious if Jimmy G leads them to, like, the Super Bowl after all this talk about Trey Lance.
Did you see the ending to the Cardinals game?
I saw, was that the overtime game where Kyler Murray ran in for a touchdown? He squabbled like...
Yeah, but then it was... How did they end it? Was that how they ended it?
No, maybe that's what got him into overtime.
I feel like there was like a blocked kick, or maybe I'm wrong. That game ended crazy, though. Yeah, it was overtime.
That's usually like... That was a 4 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of getting Sunday Night Football ready to go. I might be half a dozen beers deep.
Napping on the couch, maybe?
Yeah, I might have fallen asleep on the couch. But, I got all these games going on. But I do remember the Arizona game going into overtime. Kyler Murray going nuts to run in for a 2-point conversion where he ran like 70 yards around the field and ended up scoring.
Now, your whole division, I mean, the Titans are... You kind of have to be happy where things... went the first 2 weeks. Not that you guys lost, but you're still...
Well, I mean, it's convenient being in the worst division of football.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I mean, if the Colts somehow, it's not going to happen, but if they somehow upset the Chiefs this week, they could be in first place. 1-1-1.
The Bills just dismantled Tennessee.
Dude, Tennessee does not look
good.
I'm
calling right now for the offensive coordinator, I think it's Todd Downing, for Tennessee's job.
Yeah,
I've never seen a running.
I've
never seen a running back more underutilized than Derrick Henry. How?
Jonathan Taylor had 9 carries last week.
That's fair enough.
So can we fire our offensive coordinator too?
You can.
Okay, good.
You can.
Good.
So you've already got the ball rolling on that.
Petition time.
You're gonna have a petition signed.
I need signatures, people.
So anything else the first 2 weeks you think stuck out?
The only surprises really are that the Giants are 2-0.
Dolphins 2-0 is probably.
I think that's just a surprise because of the teams they played. Like I told you, I think the Dolphins are a good team. I think they're borderline playoff.
We talked in our sort of like talking about the season that their first 4 or 5 games was, Ravens, Bengals, Bills. Like they have Bills this week, Bengals next week. Like their first 4 games were brutal.
Tough. But I mean, start off 2-0 is great.
Yeah.
Any other big surprises? I don't think so. I mean,
I've got big surprises on the negative end, like the sort of the
like
good
Tennessee
teams.
Sucking?
Yeah, Tennessee sucking with probably the best, a top 2 or 3 running back in the game and just not utilizing him.
Yeah. Colts suck.
Colts not playing very well.
Carolina's not good.
Yeah,
you haven't making the playoffs.
They fooled me.
Yeah, they're not good.
We're week 2. Let's give them one more.
All right. We'll hold off on the trash talking on that aspect.
Yeah. So that's all I have for what we've had so far.
Okay.
I don't know if you have.
I don't have anything else. to talk
Josh Allen is.
No, I just have Pick'ems on my notes, but
Josh Allen's
balling out.
Patrick Mahomes are looking like the best players on the planet. Jalen Hurts is really good, right? He's for the Eagles.
He's really good.
He is fast, man.
I mean, listen, they played Monday night. The whole world saw him beat up on Minnesota. Yeah, and if that game's at 1 o'clock on a Sunday, you're probably not talking all that much about Hurts. Nobody scored in the second half of that game. So I mean, Hurts is good. Don't get me wrong, but he's not Josh Allen.
So here's a question for you: you're starting a team. You get to pick any wide receiver right now in the NFL.
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just with 5 seconds of thinking about it, Justin Jefferson. Tyreek Hill maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the guy, I mean, look what he's done in Miami.
Yeah.
But I take Jefferson 1, maybe Cup.
Yeah.
Guy can get open.
He catches. He catches the ball.
And there's an art to getting open.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, on paper you run this route and it's over, but in practice it's you got to figure out how to run the route to get open, and Kupp just does that better than anybody I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
But Justin Jefferson's the best receiver in the league, hands down.
I think so. Yep.
So that's what I take. Who do you take?
I'm same. Same too. I mean, it'd be without even thinking I'd do Justin Jefferson, but then I'm thinking Tyreek Hill in the back of my head. I'm I don't know if Devontae Adams has taken a big hit, but
Well, I mean, listen, Devontae Adams top 3 receiver in the league, but he's just not Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Mike is playing with his watch over there. What do you
I
got going on?
got to get my move goal in, or I'll get in trouble.
Oh my
watch
God!
will
Are you
buzz me.
faking the move goal?
No.
Do I have to tell Vicky? Do I have to put a
Bro,
timestamp
she
on this?
taught me how to do this.
Oh my God! Mike's
She
over
taught
here
me how to
waving
do
his
this.
arms.
Got to get my move goal in.
Okay. All right. So that's it. Pick'ems.
Let's do pick'ems. How did we do last week?
Oh, okay. I got it written down.
Yeah,
All right.
that's-
So I had a lead. I was 11-4-1 in week 1. Mike was 8-5-1. No, 8-7-1. 8-7-1.
That's a bad week.
So last week we both went 10-6. All right, which is not too bad considering all the
I did better.
all the upsets. I have them written down. Let me look at my my notes here.
You know where it is?
Oh, look, I
flipped
found
right
them.
to it.
Yeah, one page flip. All right, here we go. Last week I had Washington. You had Detroit.
Yep.
You've been a big Lion guy this year.
I like where they're headed. They're not there, but I like the attitude they play with.
Well, you got me there. You had Pittsburgh. I had New England. I won that one. I kind of took New England because you took Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And New England was favored, and I was worried that was another Vegas thing, and it turned out to be a Vegas thing. You see that?
Vegas does things.
Vegas does things. I had Baltimore. You had Miami. So
Yep.
I should have won that one. But Miami coming back from like 7 touchdowns down late.
I can't even argue that.
And I think the last one we had different was I had Philly and you had Minnie.
Yep.
Philly and Minnesota.
Yep.
And I don't even know why I took Philly. I think I took Philly just to be contrary, but it worked out in my favor. We both finished 10-6. We are I am 21-10-1 on the season. Mike is 18-13-1 on the season.
I like it.
And we have this week. So we both picked Cleveland last night.
Yep.
And we confirmed that beforehand. It's not like, well, it's just
Not
you and I
insider
anyway.
trading. Yeah, nobody else cares.
Yeah, nobody else cares. Nobody's even listening at this point anyway.
Nope.
So, we both had the Browns. All right. The first one's always going to be the Colts on these pick'ems, by the way, because I'm looking off of my ESPN, and that's just who's first. So we have Chiefs and Colts. Chiefs are only 5.5-point favorites.
Are you taking the Colts?
Dude, I might bet my house on the Chiefs this week.
I'm taking the Chiefs.
All right. Hold on. I'm going to write these down. Let's see. I don't usually write these down. I go back and listen to it and then figure out who we had.
Just write them down. Be safe.
All right. Oh, we both had Cleveland, so I can mark that.
Yep.
All right. We both won that. All right, Chiefs. We both have the Chiefs.
Yep.
Do they cover 5.5? Not that it
Um,
matters, but
I think it's probably 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
I don't know why
at
that's. Is there somebody hurt that I don't know? Is Mahomes hurt or something that I don't know?
I mean,
about?
maybe they figure the Chiefs will be up by so much they'll just sit their whole team and the Colts will make a run in the second half.
I don't know.
All right, next up, Texans and Bears. It's in Chicago, and the Bears are 2.5-point favorites.
I think I'll take the Bears.
Bears.
I'm not crazy about either of those teams, but
Yeah, I think Houston sucks, and I don't think Chicago's much better, but they're better.
and at home, which they have great fans there. So
Yeah, maybe it'll rain again. It'll be like a monsoon. All right, we have Raiders and Titans.
Yep.
Both teams are 0-2. It is in Tennessee, and the Raiders are 2-point favorites.
I'm going Tennessee Titans.
Oh my goodness!
They get off the
Mike,
schneid.
We got one different. I've got the Raiders.
Come on.
The Raiders got to win. They're a good team. They cannot go 0-3.
Titans are good too, right? No, they're not. Smoke and mirrors? Well, that's not even smoke and mirrors. They're not playing.
Yeah,
good.
I know. Where's the smoke?
I'm
Where are the
going
mirrors,
Titans.
Mike?
I'm going Titans because we have to be different on a couple.
All right. Well, I mean, you picked Tennessee, and then I picked Las Vegas. So, yeah. All right. Next up, Bills, Dolphins.
You know I'm a homer, but I'm taking the Bills.
I was going to say, you are insane. I told you right now, I'm going to take Buffalo 17
Yeah,
times this year.
yeah.
Period. Like, I
Yeah.
don't care who they're playing. I don't care what happens. Maybe if Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs get into a fight and they both break their hands or something, I won't take them. But
I do see. Do you have the spread written down for that one?
Buffalo by 5.5. It is in Miami, though.
That's close. Yeah, I could see that being a field goal game.
That could be the game of the week. Mike.
Could be.
That game could be.
I'm
very,
taking
very
Buffalo
entertaining.
just because I love the Dolphins, but I don't trust them yet. So
Yep.
give me Buffalo.
That's fair enough. All right, next up, Lions and Vikings.
Vikings.
Damn. Vikings are favored by 6. It's in Minnesota. And before I could even get any more information out, Mike and I both took Minnesota. All right. Ravens and Patriots. It's in New England. Ravens are favored by 3.
Something tells me that Belichick's going to find a way to scheme this game, but I'm taking Baltimore.
Oh, I almost wrote New England.
No,
out for
don't
you.
do it.
All right, I'm taking Baltimore as well. I'm very high on Lamar. Like I said, they should be 2-0.
Yeah.
That game last week against Miami, to me, is kind of a fluke.
They should be 2-0, but they lost. So
They did. Hey,
they're
they lost. I'm not
1-1.
making excuses. I'm just saying that the Ravens are a really good team. The Patriots lost week 1. Somehow they
So
beat
the
Pittsburgh
Dolphins.
week 2, but Pittsburgh showed last night they're not very good. Anyway, so we both have Baltimore there.
Yep.
All right, what's up next? Bengals, Jets. It's in New Jersey. So the New Jersey Jets. And Cincinnati's a 6-point favorite.
Bengals, big.
Bengals, big.
Bengals
yeah.
coming out party. They're 0-2, right?
The Bengals are 0-2.
0-2.
And if they lose to the Jets, that has to be the biggest surprise of the season for the reigning AFC champions.
Yep.
To be 0-3, but I don't think it's going to happen. They're going to be 1-2.
They win big.
I think they're going to beat the Jets. All right, Eagles and Commanders. It's in Washington. Philly's favored by 6.5. What you got? Carson Wentz.
I like
his old team.
I like Philly.
You like Philly?
I like Philly by 2 touchdowns. I like A.J. Brown a lot.
We may not have that many different this week, Mike. So far, we've got 1. All right, so yeah, we both have Philly beating the Washington R words. Saints and Panthers. It's in New Orleans. New Orleans 2.5-point favorites.
It's at Carolina.
I'm sorry, it's at Carolina.
Okay.
I saw the NO and I said it's at New Orleans, but it is not. It is in fact in Charlotte, North Carolina. The North Carolina Panthers, who are 0-2 against the 1-1 Saints. New Orleans 2.5-point favorites. Are your playoff
I'm not,
Panthers going to be 0-3?
I'm not picking them, so don't write anything down.
Okay, I'm writing mine down, and I'm taking New Orleans, so you can do what you want.
I find it so hard to trust Jameis Winston. You trust Jameis?
Like I said last week.
You trust him more than you trust Baker, right?
I trust New Orleans team more than I trust the Carolina team.
I got to go New Orleans, I think. I don't know.
Okay.
Carolina's really been disappointing. It'd be nice if they can somehow win this one. I don't see it happening, though.
Yeah, another one where we're the same. All right. Next up, the 1-1 Jacksonville Jaguars against the 1-1 Los Angeles Chargers in L.A. Chargers are 7-point favorites. Jaguars coming off a 24-0 victory, but they are going to lose this week. I have the Chargers. Mike wanted me to pick first.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I have the Chargers, too. No.
Did you think I was going to pick someone else? All right. Next up, the Los Angeles Rams playing on the road in Arizona against the Cardinals, both 1-1. The Rams, the road favorites at 3.5 points.
3.5 on the road's more like, got to be more like 7, right?
It's a lot.
I'll take the Rams.
Do
it.
Damn, Kyler looked good last week.
He did.
I'm going to take Arizona. And you know what? If I had picked first, I would have picked the Rams. But
yeah, that was a 50-50 game for me.
But yeah, I'm going to take Arizona just for contrary's sake. All right, next up, let's see. We have 4 4:00 games, and one of those 4 is the Falcons and Seahawks. Atlanta 0-2, Seattle 1-1. Seattle's a 1-point favorite. This might be the worst game in the league this week, Mike. Who you got?
Who do you take in this game? I guess
in a game like this, here I'll pick first.
Okay.
I always pick the home team.
Yeah.
2 horrible teams. I'm going to take Seattle.
I'm going to take Seattle too. I had them and changed it to Atlanta, but I think I'm going to pick Seattle.
Okay. Let's see. The Sunday night game of the week. We have. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong. It's a 4:00. Packers and Bucks, which could be a really good game. Bucks are 2-0. Packers are 1-1. It is in Tampa, and it's a pick'em.
I'm going Bucks.
That is insane. That's a pick'em. That's a Vegas. That's a Vegas trap.
Gotta be.
It's a Vegas trap.
I'm going Bucks. You're going Packers.
I'm gonna go Bucks. They're home.
It's
a Vegas trap, though.
It's a pick'em.
It's a pick'em.
I could truly see either team winning that game.
Every box checks Tampa.
Yeah.
So why are they not at least a 3-point favorite?
Aaron Rodgers is. That's the only thing. I don't know.
Vegas is gonna screw me on this. I'm taking Tampa. You guys suck.
They're not gonna screw you here. You gonna put real money on the game?
Damn. I should, but I'm not going to. All right. Now Sunday night, 49ers and Broncos. They're both 1-1. This game is in Denver. San Francisco's a 1.5-point favorite. It's gonna be a good game.
I'm going San Fran.
Jimmy G time for you. Huh?
Yep. I'm going San Fran. I don't like what Russell's doing so far. I don't know if Russ is necessarily cooking the way he likes to cook. I think they're going to have to change some things.
I think Jimmy G comes back to earth and the Broncos win this game.
There you go.
I'm taking Denver.
I like it. Could be either way.
All right, and Monday night foosball. The 2-0 Giants and the 1-1 Cowboys. Giants are favored by a point. When's the last time the Giants have been favored against the Cowboys? It's got to be forever.
It's been a hot minute.
All right, Vicky, you listening?
Vicky.
This is important.
I'm taking the Giants.
Oh my goodness.
At home.
Oh my goodness.
Backup quarterback. I think that Cooper Rush. There was a couple picks.
Mike's got COVID over here. Oh, what's going on? Hey, he can't make the pick without. He's like,
it's choking me up.
Oh man.
Cooper Rush comes back to earth. I like the Giants pass rush. I got the Giants.
It's rush hour, baby. I'm going Dallas.
There you go.
Dallas might be my new team.
You're on borderline of being a
Is Dallas
Cowboys
my
fan.
new team?
It seems like it's trending that way.
Oh my goodness. We have neighbors that are big Cowboys fans, and I pick on them all the time for being Cowboys fans. Am I now them? Oh my gosh. Well, go Dallas.
Amazing.
It's rush hour. And yeah, I'm going Dallas. So there's our pick'ems. Again, on the season, I'm 21-10-1. Mike's 18-13-1. We have how many different? We
tie it up.
1, 2, 3. We have 4 different.
Yeah.
Mike, you could take the lead this week.
Taking the lead this week.
Mike's taking the lead.
Well, no, I'll call tie. I'll tie it up this week.
Okay. Well, let's see what happens. Well, lo and behold, that's our.
I'm still
pick'ems.
choking on my ice.
Mike,
though.
he still cannot believe he picked the Giants. He's dying over here. All right, that is NFL. Next up, anything else?
No, man, we gotta hit factor cap. My favorite.
All right.
I'm just trying not to choke to death before
Fair
it
enough.
happens.
All right, next up, it's what all the kids say. Fact or cap? All right, it's time for Mike's favorite segment. One of my favorite segments.
Yeah.
Little fact or cap,
Fact or
as the
cap.
kids say. A little true or false.
My kids walk around saying cap all day. So
Cap. Are they acting real sus?
yeah,
bruh?
yeah, all that.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, fact or cap, usually I ask Mike 2 questions. Mike asks me 2 questions. We say is it fact or cap. Actually, I guess they're not questions. They're more like statements.
Statements, questions. I guess it could be anything.
All right. Well, all right. What do you got for me first, Mike? You go first.
Let's go MLB because I just think. Do you think the Brewers can run down? Who are they? Philly for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Philly or San Diego. Do the Brewers make the playoffs?
I'm gonna say cap. If you had asked me last week, I'd have said yeah, the Brewers are in. Philly made a run. I usually lean toward the hot team. Philly's made the run. I'll say it's a cap that the Brewers make the playoffs.
Got it.
All right. Question for you, and we kind of alluded to this earlier in the podcast, is Aaron Judge going to hit a 62nd home run this weekend against the Red Sox?
Yes.
Yes, facts.
61 tonight, 62 Sunday.
Okay.
So we're facting it up.
All right. There's a fact there. What do you got for me?
Do the Colts make the playoffs? Factor cap.
In this season?
This season.
What
and the worst division in
what
football.
Was that? Playoffs? You remember
Come
that?
on.
Jim Mora? Playoffs.
Combined, your whole division has 1 win.
Dude. No, it's a cap. They might have a top 5 pick. They're going to be 0-3 after this week.
CJ Stroud?
Oh, no, man. I want Bryce
Young.
I want Bryce Young.
All right.
All right.
Tyler Van Dyke?
Oh, no. No. I don't want that. All right. Well, all right. So my next factor. All right. So I got cap for that. They do not make the playoffs. I do think that they get a top 5 pick next year. Because we actually get a first-round pick now, even after the whole Carson Wentz dilemma. All right. Factor cap for Mike. Miami Hurricanes play Middle Eastern Southern Tennessee State University College. Does Tyler Van Dyke, Taylor or Tyler?
Tyler
Van Dyke. I'm going to get it right by the end of the season. Does Tyler Van Dyke take a snap in the second half?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll probably play.
You don't think Miami's going to be up by 100?
No, I don't. Even if they're up, 35-0 at half, I think he needs that extra quarter because they've been so far off. I think he plays at least 3 quarters.
Okay. But we both agree that Miami's just going to.
Oh, they're going to blow him out. But
okay.
with there's been some kind of chemistry problem with the wide receivers. So
okay,
I say it's what was the. Does he play? Does he take a snap in
the second half?
Fact, he does.
Okay. All right. I think Miami's up like 50-0 at halftime. I think it's going to be wild.
Could be. I hope so.
All right. Well, that's Factor Cap from us, and that's actually going to do it.
Pod number 4.
For us. This is episode number 4. Make sure to check us out on Twitter. We try to tweet every now and then when we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a website, 772sports.com, which is where you can find this podcast. I guess if you're listening to that, you don't really need to go there. And yeah, that's it. If you guys have any suggestions, comments, anything that you want us to talk about, anything...
We do guests. If you want to come on and talk, air your grievances.
Yeah, Mike's got a lot of them, and you're going to hear about it.
You're going to hear them, and I'd like to hear yours.
And I can help you start a petition. All right, that's it from us at 772 Sports. We'll see you all next week.
Peace.